Have you ever wondered why there is so much evil in the world? It's a question that has plagued the minds of philosophers, theologians, and everyday people like you and me for centuries. We live in a world that is often marked by crimes that make headlines, injustices that go unnoticed, and immoral acts that seem to be woven into the very fabric of our society. No matter where we look, it seems like evil is omnipresent. It's present in the smallest acts of dishonesty at the workplace, in the alarming rates of domestic violence, in the shocking statistics of child labor, and in the heart-wrenching stories of war and famine that fill our news feeds. It's there, lurking in the shadows, often unseen but always felt. But why does evil exist? Some say it's the result of human free will, that we create evil with our choices and actions. Others argue it's a consequence of our society, a byproduct of systems and structures that prioritize power and wealth over human well-being. And there are those who believe it's a fundamental part of our nature, an inherent part of the human condition. Yet no explanation seems to fully satisfy, does it? Each one raises more questions than it answers. If evil is a result of our choices, why do we choose to do wrong? If it's a consequence of our society, why can't we change our systems and structures to eradicate it? If it's part of our nature, are we doomed to perpetuate evil forever? But here's the real conundrum. If there is a God who is kind, loving, and omnipotent, why does he allow such evil to persist? Why doesn't he intervene to stop the suffering, to prevent the pain, to put an end to the evil that seems to be everywhere we look? I mean, it's a question that may not have a simple answer, but it's one that is worth asking, worth pondering, worth wrestling with. But why does a kind, loving, and omnipotent God allow such evil to persist? Let's delve deeper into this mystery together. God is all-knowing, all-powerful, so why didn't he destroy evil from the very beginning? This paradox, the existence of an omnipotent, omniscient God and the persistence of evil in the world, has been a point of contention for centuries. Some argue that if God were truly all-knowing and all-powerful, he would have eradicated evil long ago, yet here we are, navigating a world riddled with injustices, pain, and suffering. So, how can we reconcile this seeming contradiction? For starters, let's remind ourselves of the nature of God. The same divine entity that brought the universe into existence, who set the stars in their celestial dance and breathed life into every living being. This God is not just a cosmic force, but an entity of infinite wisdom and foresight. Now, let's tackle the existence of evil. It's easy to assume that a benevolent God would wipe out all evil. However, consider this. What if evil exists as part of a grander plan? A plan that in its ultimate wisdom allows for evil to exist, not as a permanent fixture, but as a transient phase in the cosmic order. Theologians have wrestled with this paradox for centuries, and one prevailing theory suggests that God, in his omniscience, chose to allow evil to exist. Not because he is indifferent to our suffering, but because he sees the bigger picture, a picture we, with our limited human understanding, struggle to comprehend. In this grand scheme, evil plays a role. It serves as a foil to goodness, a contrast that allows us to recognize and appreciate virtue. Would we truly understand the value of peace without the existence of conflict, or the depth of love without the presence of hate? These questions bring us to a startling revelation, one that challenges our conventional understanding of good and evil, and the role we believe God plays in it. In fact, it may surprise you to know God created evil. Yes, you heard it right. But remember, he did so with a purpose, a plan that's beyond our comprehension, yet within our capacity to navigate. We'll explore this in the next scene. Stay tuned. Wait, God created evil? But why would a benevolent God do that? Now, this might seem counterintuitive, but hold on for a moment and let's dive into this intriguing concept. Imagine a world without the concept of evil, a world where only good exists. It might sound like an ideal place, right? But in such a world, goodness would be the norm, the default. There would be no concept of good because there would be nothing to contrast it against. Goodness would lose its uniqueness, its value. Enter evil, an antithesis to good, a shadow that forces light into focus. It is this contrast that makes good truly stand out, like a lighthouse amidst a stormy sea. And here we see the reasoning behind God creating evil. It's not out of spite, but rather to give goodness a stage to shine upon. Furthermore, evil serves as a test, a challenge for us humans. We are not mindless drones, but sentient beings gifted with a precious ability, the ability of choice, of free will. We are given the opportunity to choose between righteousness and sin, between light and darkness. This is not a random, meaningless choice, but a profound test of our faith and character. It's easy to follow the path of righteousness when there are no alternatives, but when faced with temptation, our true nature is revealed. Our choices then become a testament to our faith, our love for God, and our commitment to goodness. In this grand scheme, evil is not just a destructive force, but also a constructive one. It shapes us, molds us into better versions of ourselves. It challenges us, pushes us to our limits, and in doing so, helps us grow, evolve, and transcend our former selves. So, it exists as a catalyst for our growth, as a beacon guiding us towards righteousness, and as a contrast that highlights the beauty of goodness. Evil exists so we can appreciate the good and choose it over the darkness. It is this choice, this journey from darkness to light, that truly defines us and our relationship with God. It enables true love. God's ways are mysterious, complex, but there's always a divine plan. Picture this, the story of Adam and Eve. We've all heard it, the tale of humanity's first sin. But have you ever stopped to think that maybe, just maybe, it was all part of a grander scheme? A divine plan designed by God himself? Yes, we all fell short when Adam and Eve bit into that forbidden fruit. Yet in that moment, the path to redemption was born. God, in his infinite wisdom, foresaw the fall of mankind. He knew Adam and Eve would succumb to temptation, yet he let it happen. Why? Because he had a plan for us to rise above evil, to experience darkness, yet choose to shine our light. You see, God is all-knowing. He understood that in allowing evil, he was setting the stage for a greater good. In the grand tapestry of existence, we are not mere spectators. We are active participants chosen to replace the fallen angels. God's plan for us is far greater than we can comprehend. We are being tested, refined in the crucible of life's trials and tribulations. Our characters are being molded, shaped to be better than those who fell before us. God created evil not as a punishment, but as a tool to train us, to help us understand the difference between right and wrong, good and evil. He gave us the unique opportunity to experience both, to make our own choices, to choose to step out of the darkness and into his light. This divine plan, this grand design, it's all about redemption. It's about God's unending love and his desire for us to be with him. Every trial, every tribulation, every moment of darkness we face, it's all part of his plan to make us new creatures in him, creatures of light. God's purpose for us is to rise above evil, to replace the fallen angels, and to shine our light even in the face of darkness. Remember that next time you wonder why there is so much evil in the world. It's all part of the divine plan. Evil is a choice, and so is good. We have the power to choose. Let's pause for a moment and think about that. We are not mere puppets dangling on the strings of fate or divine ordination. We are beings with free will, with the power to choose between good and evil. Each day we are faced with decisions, with crossroads that challenge our morality, our integrity, our very essence. And it's in these moments, these choices, that our character is shaped and our spiritual journey is charted. You see, the concept of free will is not just about choosing what to eat for breakfast or what to wear to work. It's about those profound choices that echo in eternity. It's about choosing to stand up for what's right, even when the world is telling you to sit down. It's about choosing kindness in a world that often seems cruel. It's about choosing love in the face of hate. These choices are not always easy. In fact, they can be incredibly difficult. It's easy to choose anger over patience, resentment over forgiveness, envy over contentment. But every time we choose good over evil, light over darkness, we are not just making a choice. We are making a statement. We are saying, yes, there is evil in this world. Yes, there are forces that seek to pull us down. But we will not be swayed. We will not be overcome. We choose good. We choose light. And it's in this choosing that we find our true selves. It's in this choosing that we find our connection to the Lord. It's in this choosing that we become more than just beings passing through time and space. We become spiritual warriors, bearers of light in a world that so desperately needs it. Our choices define us, make us who we are. We can choose to step out of the darkness and into the light. Through our trials and tribulations, we can emerge as creatures of light. We rise through the shadows to become vessels of radiance. You see, evil and darkness in the world, as perplexing as they are, they serve a purpose. They are not merely obstacles, but stepping stones on our path towards righteousness. They are the forge in which our spirits are tempered, our resolve steeled. Imagine a piece of iron, raw and unrefined. It's through the heat of the furnace, the beat of the hammer, and the chill of the water that it transforms into a blade of steel, sharp and resilient. Similarly, it's through the fires of our trials, the blows of our struggles, and the soothing relief of our triumphs that we are shaped into stronger, purer, and more righteous beings. We are not simply passive beings enduring the darkness. We actively engage with it, confront it, and overcome it. It's through this struggle that we learn to distinguish right from wrong, to discern truth from falsehood. We become more aware of our own strengths and weaknesses, our virtues and vices. But it's not just about becoming stronger or wiser. It's about becoming more compassionate, more understanding, more loving. We learn to empathize with others who are also navigating through their own darkness. We learn to extend a helping hand, to share a kind word, to offer a comforting presence. This journey through darkness is not a solitary one. It's a collective experience, a shared endeavor. Together we draw strength from each other, we inspire each other, we uplift each other. We shine our lights together, illuminating the darkness around us, making it a little less daunting, a little less overwhelming. And as we emerge from the darkness, we don't leave it behind. We carry it with us, not as a burden, but as a testament to our journey, a reminder of our transformation. For it's through the contrast of darkness that the brilliance of light is truly appreciated. Remember, the darkness is but a pathway to the light, a journey towards becoming better versions of ourselves. It's through this journey that we realize our potential, not in spite of the darkness, but because of it. As we struggle with evil in the world, remember it is all part of a grand plan, a narrative that has been written since the dawn of time, a story that will reach its magnificent climax in the end times with the triumphant return of our Lord. Picture this: a day will come when the skies will split open and a radiant light will shine through. That will be the day when all of our trials, our battles against evil will come to fruition. It's the day when we, the faithful soldiers who have chosen to walk in the light despite the darkness, will be redeemed. The end times are not about destruction, they are about redemption. Redemption of those who have seen the trap of evil, who have experienced the darkness and yet chose to shine their light. We have all sinned and fallen short, but we also have the free will to step out of that darkness. And that choice, that conscious decision to choose light over darkness, love over hatred, good over evil, is what makes us worthy of redemption. God's grand plan, His divine narrative, is not about eliminating evil, but about us overcoming it. It's about us emerging out of the darkness, not as the same beings who went in, but as new creatures, creatures of light, creatures who are stronger, wiser, and more compassionate because of the trials they've been through. This is the essence of the final redemption. It's not just about saving us from evil, but about transforming us into beings capable of radiating love and light. It's about taking our experiences of darkness and using them to fuel our inner light, our inner goodness. It's about us becoming the best versions of ourselves, not in spite of the evil we've faced, but because of it. So whenever you question the existence of evil, remember it's all part of a divine plan. A plan where we emerge victorious as creatures of light. Until next time, troops, pick up your cross and continue to fight the good fight. And remember, you have Christ on your side.
Gotta